Welcome back to Dreamy Train Tales. Thank you for joining me tonight. Now let's settle down and begin our journey together. If this brings you peace, please like and subscribe so we can explore more historic railways together, but only if it truly helps you unwind. And if you'd like, please share in the comments where you're listening from and what time of day it is for you right now. If you genuinely appreciate these journeys, you can support my channel by buying me a coffee through the link in the description. Every coffee helps me improve and create even more relaxing adventures for you. Thank you so much for your support. Tonight, you find yourself standing on the wide stone platform of Saint Moritz station, wrapped in the cool breath of the autumn night. The year is the 1930s, and the resort town around you rests in quiet elegance, its grand hotels glowing faintly against the backdrop of shadowed peaks. The air is crisp, sharp, with the scent of pine and wood smoke, and each exhale forms a cloud that drifts away into the lamplight. A hush lies over the station, broken only by the echo of boots on stone and the low murmur of voices as travelers gather near the train. The Glacier Express waits before you, carriages stretching down the platform, their windows glowing warmly against the dark. Light spills onto polished brass fittings, glimmers along the painted steel sides, and casts faint halos on the gravel below. The steam from the engine curls upward, carrying a scent of coal and oil, rising into the chilled mountain air. This is not merely a train, it is a ribbon of comfort and connection, weaving through valleys and peaks, linking the Engadine with distant Brig. Before we begin this journey together, take a moment to settle in wherever you are. Let your shoulders drop. Allow your breath to slow, and notice how the rhythm of your inhale and exhale already echoes the quiet steadiness of the train waiting before you. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with cool, clean air, and release, letting go of the day's tension. The rails ahead invite you to surrender, to be carried, to drift. You step forward, boots clicking softly against the platform, and approach the nearest carriage. A porter in a neat uniform lifts his cap, his voice polite but soft as he checks tickets. The brass buttons on his jacket gleaming in the glow of the lamps. You hand him your ticket, the paper firm beneath your fingers, and he directs you with a nod. The heavy door opens smoothly, revealing the warmth inside. You climb aboard, greeted at once by the glow of shaded lamps and the muted fragrance of polished wood and leather. The corridor stretches ahead, lined with windows slightly fogged by the cool air outside. Curtains of deep burgundy hang beside them, their fabric heavy yet soft, swaying gently with the movement of the train as it readies to depart. Passengers settle into compartments, voices subdued, the occasional rustle of wool coats and hats punctuating the stillness. Your seat awaits by a wide window. You slide into the cushioned bench, its upholstery plush, and allow yourself to sink into its embrace. The brass rail above reflects the light, steady and golden. Outside, the reflection of the lamps mingles with the alpine night, where mountain peaks loom high and silent, their outlines softened by the dim afterglow of sunset. The larch trees along the slopes blaze in color even in the fading light, their oranges and golds standing proud against the dark firs. A whistle blows, clear, sharp, decisive. The sound echoes through the valley, carried on the mountain wind. The train gives a subtle jolt, and with a smooth pull, the Glacier Express begins to roll forward. The platform slips past, lamps stretching into streaks of light, voices fading into the distance. The click of wheels against rails grows steady, rhythmic, like a heartbeat you can feel beneath your seat. The Glacier Express, first launched in 1930, quickly earned its reputation as the slowest express train in the world. Yet that was never its flaw, it was its greatest charm. Travelers came not to hurry, but to linger, to savor the grandeur of alpine passes, viaducts, and river valleys. Tonight, you join that tradition, carried by the same steel rails, guided through the same mountain corridors. You lean gently against the seat back, eyes drawn to the window where the world slides by. Villages nestled in the valley glow faintly with lantern light, their rooftops dusted with the season's first snow. Smoke drifts lazily from chimneys, rising straight into the calm night air. The scent seems to linger even here, carried faintly on the draft, seeping through the window frame. The rhythm deepens. The sway of the carriage rocks you gently, as though the train itself breathes with you. Each curve brings a subtle shift, each climb a change in tone from the engine. The train feels alive, a companion guiding you through the heart of the Alps. You release another breath, longer this time, and let the sound of steel on steel soothe you further into stillness. The Glacier Express glides away from Saint Moritz, its whistle echoing once more against the cliffs, carrying you into the embrace of the Swiss night. The train gathers momentum as it leaves behind the warmth and glow of Saint Moritz, its carriages rocking gently as the rails guide it deeper into the alpine night. The steady rhythm of the wheels on the track becomes more pronounced now, no longer softened by the station's stillness, but amplified by the quiet grandeur of the mountains. The lamps inside the carriage give off their calm, golden light, and their glow seems to wrap around you, creating a cocoon of warmth as you gaze out through the window. Beyond the glass, the autumn night stretches wide and still, the peaks rising in silhouettes of deep violet and charcoal, their snowy tops catching faint glimmers of moonlight. Each exhale you release fogs the glass slightly before fading, leaving the crisp outlines of the alpine world beyond. The Glacier Express carries you smoothly across the Engadin Valley floor, an open sweep where rivers thread silver beneath the stars. The sound of the locomotive is steady, unhurried, like the breathing of some great animal guiding you into the quiet of night. In these moments, you feel yourself settling further, your shoulders releasing into the seat back, your body swaying with each gentle turn. Each inhale gathering with the forward pull, each exhale sinking softly into stillness. This line, built in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, was an extraordinary feat. Engineers carved passages where only stone and ice once ruled, connecting remote valleys that had been isolated for centuries. When the Glacier Express was first launched in 1930, it became known as the slowest express train in the world. Yet, its slowness was its glory. Travelers came not to rush, but to linger, to let the marvel of stone viaducts, dark tunnels, and sweeping valleys unfold at a pace that allowed the eyes and the heart to rest upon them. Even now, you feel the wisdom in that choice, the deliberate rhythm that calms you with every mile. The rails curve gently, and you lean with the movement as the train climbs toward its first great spectacle. Outside, the slopes rise steeply, thick with trees glowing in autumn splendor. Golden larch stand bright against the darker fir, and the deep crimson of beech trees spreads like brushstrokes across the mountainside. Their colors hold a warmth that contrasts beautifully with the sharp chill of night air. Below, scattered farmhouses nestle in the folds of the valley, lanterns flickering in their windows like tiny stars resting on earth. Smoke rises in thin plumes from chimneys, climbing into the sky where the first stars have begun to appear. The train slows slightly as it approaches the Landwasser viaduct. Even before you see it, you sense the change in motion, the subtle shift in sound. Then it comes into view, a curving stone bridge, 6 tall arches rising over a gorge, a structure as bold as it is graceful. The Glacier Express glides onto the viaduct, and suddenly the world opens wide beneath you. The ground drops into shadow, a river glimmering faintly at the bottom of the ravine. Above, the sky is alive with stars, sharp points of light scattered across the dark velvet night. The train feels as if it floats, suspended between earth and sky, the steady sound of the wheels the only reminder of solid ground. For a moment, time seems to stretch, as though the train itself has paused to admire the view. The viaduct ends in a sudden curve, carrying the carriages directly into the yawning mouth of a tunnel. The sound deepens instantly. Wheels clatter against stone, echoing around you, magnified until it feels like a heartbeat inside the mountain. The air shifts, cooler now, carrying the damp fragrance of rock and earth. The lamps hold steady within the carriage, their glow constant against the pressing dark. Then, just as suddenly, the tunnel releases you. The train bursts once more into open air, and the view shifts again. Now, terraced vineyards cling to the slopes of the valley. Even by night, you can see their ordered lines, each row precise, cultivated by generations of hands. The moonlight glints off the stone walls, holding the terraces in place, their pale outlines stretching across the hillside. Scattered among them are tiny chapels and old watchtowers, their white walls faint in the night, their presence quiet reminders of centuries past. The train rolls gently past, and you feel a sense of continuity that your journey tonight is just one in a long chain of travelers who have crossed these mountains, each carried by the same patience of time and land. You shift slightly in your seat, sinking deeper into the cushions. The sway of the carriage feels more pronounced now, a rocking that cradles you with steady assurance. The rhythm of the rails grows more hypnotic, each click a metronome guiding you into rest. Around you, other passengers have quieted. Some lean back with eyes closed. Some speak softly in hushed tones, their words muffled by distance and wood-paneled walls. A porter moves slowly down the aisle, checking on travelers, his polished shoes tapping lightly against the floor. His presence is unhurried, respectful of the quiet mood that fills the train. Outside, the peaks grow sharper, rising higher as the Glacier Express continues its climb. Their snowy summits glow faintly in the moonlight. Sentinels watching over the valley below. You can almost imagine their silence, their patience, as if they've been guarding this path since time began. You release another breath, long and slow, and let the weight of the journey settle over you like a blanket. The train presses onward, its course set through tunnels, over bridges, across valleys. The motion never falters, and its steady cadence carries you further into calm. The mountain passes open before you, ancient and unchanging, as the Glacier Express guides you gently through their heart. The hours slide gently by as the Glacier Express glides through the depths of the Swiss Alps, its steady rhythm merging seamlessly with the quiet of the night. By now, the train's motion feels like a part of you, a heartbeat that guides your breath. Each click of the wheels on the rails comes with the same certainty as your inhale and exhale, each curve rocking you further into stillness. The passage of time has softened, stretched, and slowed, leaving you floating in the timeless cadence of the journey. Outside the wide window, the moon has risen high, casting its pale silver glow across a landscape that shifts constantly yet always remains serene. At first, the valley opens wide, a sweep of pasture where cows stand silhouetted against the faint light. Then the train curves toward a dense forest, its trees rising in dark ranks, branches moving faintly in the alpine wind. Moments later, the window reveals a river winding pale and silver through shadow, its surface broken by white froth as it tumbles across rocks. The sights slip by without urgency, as though each has been placed gently along the path of the rails for you to admire in turn. The train's path carries it toward the Rhine gorge, a stretch often called the Swiss Grand Canyon. Here, the cliffs rise sheer on either side, pale limestone shining under the moonlight. Centuries of water and stone have shaped them into dramatic walls, their rugged faces scarred and weathered, a reminder of the slow patience of nature. The rails cling close to the edge, curving carefully along the cliff face. From your seat, you peer down into the gorge, where the river foams white against its rocky bed, wild and energetic. Though you cannot hear its roar through the thick glass, you imagine its voice rising, echoing against stone walls. The gorge feels alive, a reminder that even within this deep calm, the earth moves and breathes. The train emerges from the gorge and glides into a gentler valley. Hillsides soften here, rolling with vineyards whose rows are carved neatly into the slopes. Even at night, you can sense their order, their lines catching moonlight, each row a precise pattern etched by generations of careful tending. The air grows warmer as the altitude lowers, carrying the faint scent of earth and vines. Lanterns glow among the vineyards, marking cottages and farmhouses, their warmth steady and welcoming. These vines have stood here for centuries, their grapes pressed into wines carried across Europe. In the quiet of this night, you feel the continuity of that history, as though each vine carries a story, each row another verse in the song of the valley. The carriage is quieter now. Passengers who spoke softly before have let their words fade, their heads resting against cushions or windows. Reflections shimmer faintly in the glass, overlapping the outside world, merging lamplight with moonlight, travelers with mountains. A porter moves softly through the aisle, his steps hushed, pausing only to check that lamps burn evenly, their shades tilted just so. The scent of wood polish lingers in the air, mingling with faint traces of coal smoke drifting in from the engine. Even these scents feel timeless, part of the memory of every traveler who has sat where you sit now. The train enters a long curve, its body bending gracefully as it rounds the hillside. The rails ahead glint faintly, a silver ribbon that seems to stretch endlessly into the night. The rhythm of the wheels grows hypnotic, as though it has slowed, though the speed remains constant. It is the effect of calm, of surrendering to the journey. You no longer measure time in minutes or hours, but in miles of track, in breaths, in the rise and fall of the land beyond the glass. Above you, peaks stand guard. Their summits glow faintly white under moonlight, dusted with early snow that sparkles in the night. They feel eternal, unmoving, their presence steady and protective. Travelers for centuries have looked to these same peaks, measuring their journeys by their shapes, taking comfort in their permanence. You feel the same reassurance now. They watch silently as the Glacier Express winds below, as though ensuring each traveler passes safely through their domain. The train continues along the valley, passing villages where church towers rise in pale stone against the sky. Their bells toll faintly, the sound carrying across the night, each chime a thread of history stretching back centuries. These valleys have known change, but the bells have always rung, marking time, anchoring the lives of those who live here. From your window you see lanterns glowing in the narrow streets, the faint outlines of wooden balconies, the occasional figure moving quickly under the glow of lamplight. Life goes on quietly while the train rolls by, unhurried, steady. Your body grows heavier as the journey continues. Each sway of the carriage settles you deeper into the cushions, your muscles releasing tension you hadn't realized they held. Your shoulders rest, your arms lie loose, your legs sink into the motion of the train. Each breath flows more freely, without effort, without thought. The rhythm of the rails has taken over, guiding your body as much as the locomotive guides the carriages through the night. The Glacier Express was designed not for speed but for wonder. Its deliberate pace gives you time to linger, to notice the details, to rest with them. You imagine those first travelers of the 1930s marveling at the same sights, the dramatic gorge, the terraces of vines, the lanterns in far-off villages. They too would have leaned against windows, breathed in the scent of wood and coal, listened to the lullaby of steel on steel. In this way, your journey is theirs, and theirs is yours. The continuity is comforting, a reminder that you are part of something larger, something enduring. The rails guide the train into another tunnel, the sound changing instantly as stone walls enclose you. The wheels echo, magnified, filling the carriage with a steady, hollow rhythm. The air cools again, carrying the damp, mineral scent of earth. Lamps glow steadily, their light constant against the dark. The tunnel seems to stretch on, until at last the train bursts once more into open night. The sudden change reveals another valley, this one wider, calmer, with fields lying open in the moonlight. The sight feels like a gift, a release, the openness after confinement, the reward of patience. The train rolls onward, unhurried. The world outside has quieted into a soft rhythm of valleys and rivers, peaks and slopes, villages and vines. Each element weaves into the others, forming a landscape that feels complete, balanced, whole. Your breathing has slowed, deepened, and your body has surrendered fully to the motion of the train. The Glacier Express carries you not only across distance but into a deeper stillness, a rest that feels timeless, certain, and true. The train's pace softens as it descends into the broad valley, its movement slower, more measured, as though the journey itself is aware of its nearing end. The Glacier Express has carried you through soaring passes and shadowed gorges, and now it eases into the gentler embrace of the Rhine Valley, where the land opens wide and the mountains step back to allow the rivers and fields their space. The steady rhythm of the wheels remains, yet each turn feels quieter, each sound softer, as if the train is whispering its farewell to the Alps. Inside the carriage, the atmosphere has shifted. The lamps glow more warmly now, their light a comfort against the night pressing in at the windows. The air is rich with the familiar scents of polished wood, leather, and faint traces of coal smoke drifting in from the engine. Passengers sit in stillness, Their earlier murmurs faded into silence. Some lean heavily against the glass, their reflections blurring with the faint outlines of fields and vineyards beyond. Others have allowed their eyes to close, lulled by the rocking motion that has cradled them for hours. The train itself feels quieter, though it is only your perception, shaped by the gentle slowing of its pace. Outside, the world has softened into shades of silver and shadow. Vineyards climb the lower slopes, their neat rows catching moonlight like threads woven into the hillside. Between them, chestnut groves spread wide, their branches touched with the fading glow of autumn. Lanterns flicker in scattered farmhouses, their warmth a counterpoint to the chill of the night air. These valleys have been shaped by human hands for centuries, their vines cultivated, their chestnuts gathered, their rivers guided into channels and mills. To see them now, glowing faintly in the moonlight, is to glimpse the endurance of life among the mountains, a balance between nature and tradition that has persisted through generations. The Glacier Express was never built for haste. Its deliberate pace was intended for moments like these, for watching the world drift past at a speed that allows you to notice the details, to feel the land and its history settle into you. You feel that intention now, as the train's descent brings each detail into focus. Church towers rise among villages, their spires pale against the night sky, their bells tolling gently. Each chime drifts across the valley, steady and timeless, a sound that has marked evenings here for centuries. You imagine travelers of the past hearing the same bells and feel yourself connected to them, another link in the long chain of journeys through these valleys. Your body has grown heavier with each mile, your shoulders fully released, your arms resting loosely, your legs cradled by the motion of the train. The rhythm that carried you across bridges and through tunnels has become second nature now, a part of your breathing, a part of your being. The sway of the carriage is softer than before, yet still enough to hold you in its embrace, like the final strokes of a lullaby. The valley narrows again, the slopes rising close to the tracks. The Rhine River gleams below, its surface bright with moonlight, flowing swift and sure between the stone walls of the valley. Lanterns reflect on its surface, trembling with the ripples, each reflection a small star upon the water. The sound of the river is muted by glass and distance, yet in your mind you can almost hear its rushing song, a constant presence guiding the valley toward Brig. The town comes into view at last. Brig, long a crossroads of trade and travel, rests at the foot of the Simplon Pass. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, this was a place of connection, where merchants, pilgrims, and railway passengers crossed paths. Tonight, it waits quietly for your arrival. Lanterns burn steadily on the platforms, their light casting long shadows on the stone. Roofs gather close under the mountain's silhouette, while the tall tower of the Stockalper Palace stands faintly visible against the night sky, a reminder of the town's storied past. The Glacier Express slows further, the sigh of its brakes rising softly into the night. Steam drifts upward from the engine, curling pale in the lantern light. Figures stand on the platform, coats drawn tight against the chill, their breath misting as they wait. Some lift their heads as the train approaches, the glow of its lamps growing brighter, the sound of its wheels a familiar arrival in the quiet town. The carriages glide forward, slowing, the clatter of wheels easing into a hush. The train comes to rest with a final sigh, steam settling, motion ceasing. For a moment, silence stretches, holding you in its embrace. The journey, long and deliberate, has reached its close. You remain in your seat, listening to the softened sounds of arrival, the hiss of the engine, the low murmur of voices outside, the tap of footsteps on the platform. Inside, the lamps continue to glow, steady and golden, as though time itself has paused to let you linger in the comfort of the train. The Glacier Express has carried you across the valleys and peaks, through gorges and vineyards, into the heart of autumn in the Alps. It has brought you now to Brig, a place of rest and history, a place where the journey pauses, though its memory lingers in every part of you. The train rests, yet its rhythm remains within you. Its sway, its sound, its deliberate pace, all continue in your breath, in your body, in the quiet that now surrounds you. The journey has ended, but its calm endures, guiding you deeper into stillness, deeper into rest. As this gentle journey draws to its close, you feel the train beginning to settle into stillness. The rhythmic clicking of the wheels has grown softer, the sway of the carriage nearly faded, leaving only the memory of its motion within you. Your breathing has matched this slower pace, steady and unhurried, rising and falling in natural rhythm. Each breath feels easier now, lighter, as though the weight of the day has lifted with the passing miles. The lamps within the carriage glow steadily, their warm light wrapping around you like a blanket. Outside, the station lies quiet, lanterns burning faintly on the platform, their glow softened by the drifting steam. The town of Brig rests beyond, tucked into the embrace of the valley, its rooftops and spires dark against the night sky. Above them, the mountains stand guard, timeless and still, their snowy peaks gleaming faintly in the moonlight. You lean back fully, allowing your body to surrender to rest. Shoulders released, arms heavy, legs cradled by the seat. Every part of you has found its place. The sounds around you are muted now, softened into a lullaby, the faint hiss of steam, the muffled murmur of distant voices, the quiet settling of the train as it rests. Your thoughts drift like the landscape beyond the window, slow and unhurried, fading into dreamlike images. Each memory of the journey is gentle, each one leading you further into calm. The Glacier Express has brought you here, across autumn valleys and mountain heights, into the quiet heart of the Alps. Its journey is complete, and so is yours for tonight. The rhythm of the train remains with you, steady and sure, carrying you into sleep. Sweet dreams and good night.